You're listening to the BooBois podcast.
All right. Well, my name's Dalton.
I'm Ivy.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Joey.
Jonathan.
I'm Vanessa.
And we're the BooBois. And today we have a special guest. We actually have some people from Instagram that decided to join us today, which is only the second time I've ever had somebody randomly message us on Instagram and actually want to do the show. So thanks for being a guest.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I'll go ahead and make sure that your guys' information is in the bio, but just so that it's also verbally said, and if nobody wants to read any of that crap, our Instagram handle is WV is in West Virginia, Para Investigations. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce anything, and that's a common occurrence on this show. But again, that is going to be in the bio, so make sure you check them out. Do you guys ever go to the Mothman Festival, or have you been to the Mothman Festival?
We haven't. That's definitely on the bucket list for sure. We have some friends who go every year, and they always tell us how awesome it is. So, I mean, we've both been to Point Pleasant before, but not for the festival. But it's definitely a must do for us.
Have you seen the statue?
Nice.
I've seen pictures of it. I was down there before they had it put up, but
I've seen the statue before, yeah. It's pretty cool.
Is it as thick as everyone says it is?
Oh, definitely.
Fantastic.
Key details here.
That's what's important.
What we're really here for. All right. So
Thick-ass cryptids.
this week we're going to be talking about the Clutter family. So it's going to take us back to 1959 in Holcomb, Kansas. Basically, they were your average American family farmers, just, in Kansas doing their thing. They had a big old family. There were 3 daughters and 1 son. They had 2 older daughters already married off and kicked out of the house. 1 younger daughter still in high school who was like 16, and 1 son who was around 15. They just kind of did their own thing. The whole town of Holcomb, Kansas only had about 300 people at that time. So, everybody knew everybody's business. Wasn't hiding anything out there. That place was so small that literally everyone knew everything about everyone, that it was a common known fact that Bonnie Clutter had really bad back pain after giving birth to her second child, that she didn't even sleep in the same bed as her husband because of it. And that was just a fact the whole town knew. I don't know how I would feel about a whole town knowing that many details.
Like your sleeping arrangements? That's a bit much.
It must be like a bulletin board situation.
They put it on the bulletin board.
Everyone knows everyone's sleeping arrangements. It's the Holcomb way.
I just wonder if that was during the first child and they had 5 kids, whose bed were they going into? Or was it any room, any bed?
They got bunk beds, Mom was on the bottom.
She had her own bedroom.
Maybe that was a cover. Maybe
what if they just weren't his kids?
snored.
Do you guys ever think of that one?
Add it to the list, yeah.
In the 50s, I don't know if that was allowed as much.
Wasn't allowed, but it still happened.
I mean, yeah.
It's true.
50s, it was easy to have a totally different family just a block away.
True. So, if we go ahead and look into November 14th, 1959, totally regular day for the Clutter family. The 2 kids came home from high school after hanging out with their friends and everything like that. Bonnie and Herbert, it was Daddy Clutter's name, Herbert.
Daddy Herbert.
They had just a totally normal day working at the farm. Herbert was even known around town to pay with checks with everything. And at that time in 1959, that was kind of weird, but people just rolled with it because they knew he was good for it because he had one of the most prosperous farms in the town. Basically, if you needed any kind of produce, Clutter was where you went. So on November 14th, they basically went to bed, had a normal night. Unfortunately, what they didn't know were there were 2 men waiting outside their house, and the moment that the family all went to sleep, they walked inside the house. Of course, being in such a tiny town with 300 people and trusting everyone, their doors were just randomly unlocked. So the people just walked right in. Not a single problem care in the world, not breaking windows or anything. Just walked right in. So
What year was this?
1959.
Oh, jeez.
So there was no ring of doorbells or alarm systems of any kind. And they did have dogs, but they lived out in the barn. They didn't live in the house. So really, this family just had no chance.
They had no chance.
No
People
chance.
were just very trusting
No
of their
chance.
environment.
They only had 300 people. I'm pretty sure there's more than 300 people in the neighborhood I live in.
Yeah, that's why you need to lock doors.
Yeah. I mean,
think
now
it's
we
that
know
small,
that.
people are fucking out of their minds.
Being from
No,
a
now-
super small town in West Virginia, that doesn't surprise me. Like, I still think there's probably people to this day in the town I'm originally from who do not lock their doors, which is crazy. But I think growing up in a small town where literally everybody knows your sleeping arrangements gives you a false sense of security about the people in the area. So, I mean, I could, especially in the 50s and 60s, I could definitely see that.
Well, I mean, the 50s and 60s is when there was a huge uptick in serial killers. So,
Oh, I could definitely see it happening. I just think it's a terrible, terrible oversight on their part to do that. I think it's like,
Oh,
how do
yeah.
you fuck up that bad, bro? Come on.
yeah. I mean,
You don't
I'm
even
from,
lock your doors?
I'm from a really small town in Wyoming called Sheridan, and I'm sure people don't lock their doors there. But the difference is out there, much like Arizona, people sleep with guns cradled. So,
They're like right there.
Yeah.
you woke up to someone in your house, it's not
Imagine
gonna
you have a
end well.
nightmare and just blow your own fucking teeth out of your face. Like,
Imagine
What
the
if that
nightmare
was
was that your
ironically the
teeth were
nightmare?
falling out. So the two men basically walk inside the house and they go and wake up Herb, and they essentially put him on his knees and they're like, "Tell us where their safe is. Tell us where all the money is." And he's like, "I don't know what the hell you're talking about." And they're like roughing him up and beating him up, trying to get the money out of him. And when they decide that he's not telling them what they want, they take him down to the basement and they tie him up. And then they go up and they get his son, and they take his son to the basement and they start roughing him up, trying to convince the dad to tell where the money is in the safe and everything. Eventually, upset and frustrated that they couldn't get the money, the men basically went to every member of the house, starting with Bonnie, and they shot her in the head. Then they went to the daughter and they shot her in the head, both in their separate rooms. Then they went back downstairs and they put a pillow over the son's face and shot him, all in front of the dad. And then they asked him one more time, "Where's the money?" And when the dad still didn't have any answer for them, they slit his throat and they tied him up to a pole in the basement. So
These guys are terrible negotiators.
Yeah, that's
What I was
I
gonna
was
say.
gonna say, he just got rid of his own leverage. Like,
Yeah.
well,
Why the
so
hell would he tell you now?
Yeah.
this whole
Yeah,
town, they assume that, jumping a little forward here, the cops know that these guys aren't from the town, because they don't know who did it, obviously, but they know that they're not people from the town because everybody in the town knew that Herb paid for everything with a check. So why would he have cash if he always pays
Right.
with a check?
It's
So-
all in the bank, dude.
So yeah, so that's another thing is dude was probably like, "All my money's in the bank, I don't know what to tell you," and these guys were like, "That's bullshit."
Nah, see, we know you got something on us.
Where's your room of coins that you dive into?
Where's the
fucking
dragon lair?
duck.
So after the men basically killed the whole family, they went through and they just kind of walked the entire house looking for anything valuable. But this was just like a regular farmhouse. They weren't
Right. It's
fancy.
not gonna
They
be
didn't-
shit.
No, they didn't have anything. The most expensive thing in their house was an AM radio, which
Nice.
they did take.
News radio.
They didn't
You can
take.
listen to the Disney Channel.
We
Apparently,
murdered the whole family and we got this radio.
I mean, they can't leave empty-handed after murder of multiple people.
so they looked through
5
the entire,
headshots, 1 Buck Rogers hour.
So they looked through the entire house, and I guess one thing that came in handy was Bonnie, the wife. She had a jewelry box that looked like a clothing chest. So they just overlooked it. So all of her
Stupid.
jewelry was there. So
Right.
that would have been
They
worth
just missed
way.
it.
Murder makes you a little unfocused.
We'll get back to that. We'll get back to focus
Boy.
with these two.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I finally ran out of pages on my notebook, and I'm in a weird indent spot, so I have to go past a whole bunch. All right, so
That's got to be a milestone.
it really is. I'm almost done with this notebook. I've got this much left.
And it hasn't been peed on.
I was about to say,
Not
Basio didn't
yet.
decide you were done with it.
This is the second notebook, the second BooBois research book.
It survived thus far.
Well, the last
That'll
one
be good.
survived, and then I started this one, and then she peed on the first one.
This will all be trivia questions for when we're at cons.
Panel
I'm
question.
sure.
Yeah.
Which
How many
book did
notebooks has
Basio
Dalton
pee
gone
on?
through?
How
many
far did they
notebooks
get through
has
the
the
book
BooBois
before
been
Basio peed on it? Trick question. They finished.
Was it the first or the third book, though?
Actually, in BooBois episode 124, when you're talking about the Clutter family, Dalton clearly states.
So, getting back to our murder, so the men leave after not really finding a whole lot. They take the radio. They don't have anything else really to take from the house because they were too stupid to look for jewelry.
They didn't
And
even take silverware?
no,
Come on, guys. Jesus.
oh, around
I'm
10
sure they
a.m.
kick themselves later.
Around 10 a.m. the next morning, one of Nancy's high school friends goes to the house to pick up Nancy because I guess they had some kind of engagement. Now, this is one thing I have a little bit of a question about because Nancy's friend she walks into the house and then she finds all the bodies and she goes to a neighbor and they call the cops and the cops go over there and everything like that and they start the investigation. My question is, none of my friends would have ever had the balls to just walk into my house as any age. So who is this girl?
It was also the 50s, though, remember?
Walking into
Yeah,
someone's
Yeah,
house.
it's the 50s.
It was a small town in the
I don't
50s.
know.
They know the
This
door
girl
well.
knows that her parents sleep in separate rooms. Like, I'm sure she's used to walking in.
She's like,
you
I'm
know?
not gonna walk in on anything. There's nothing happening here.
Maybe
Yeah,
she's
these people
used to
don't fuck.
walking in on
It's the
something.
50s.
Could be.
Herbert's got
I
a
don't know.
separate bedroom.
My high school friends would just walk into my house.
Your door is just unlocked all the time.
When people were home, yeah. We lock it at night, but during the day it's open.
Business hours, it's open.
Exactly. If I go to my mom's house in the middle of the day, I get mad if the door's locked. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, don't you have that friend's house whose house was essentially just like the community kitchen
Right.
for your
yeah.
friends?
Just stroll in, have
Yeah.
a fruit snack. It's fine.
Grab some juice.
Some Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Yum.
I usually either knew the code to get into their door, like because they had one of those locks that had like a code on it, or
Fancy.
I was always with the friend. I would never have just walked into a friend's house.
Oh, I
Ever.
did that. My friends
And
did that.
if any of my friends ever did that, living anywhere that I lived, I can't guarantee that they would be okay.
Live.
Yeah, they'd live. But I just
They'd
don't think
live, but they'd be maimed.
they wouldn't be my friends anymore.
Jonathan, Vanessa, you guys have that out where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, my high school friends, whoever was around, just showed up.
Just walk
I don't know if
straight
we
in.
locked the doors because we didn't want people to come around. We were like, no.
Do you have like signs up and everything? Maybe
No,
a
they
big-
just turn off the lights and everybody hits the deck. We're not home. We're not home.
Yeah, seriously, if you like ring the doorbell at my house without texting me first, I'll like rappel from the ceiling like fucking Splinter Cell on some shit, trying to see who's at my door. Like, you gotta let me know you're coming. You gotta text me that you're walking up to my door before you ring that
Right.
doorbell. Or
Yeah.
else I'm gonna be
Like,
like,
there's
"Who the
got to be
fuck
like
is this?"
I'm here, and then
Yeah.
like just stand at the door.
Yep.
See, Daniel, when he comes to my house, he'll text me that he's there, and the second I get a message on my phone that says he's there, he knocks on the door, which always confuses me because the second I get a message that someone's at my house, I go to the garage, and then like as I'm midway to the garage, my door is like getting knocked on, and so I'm like, I have to turn back around and go back that way.
You look wrong
it
end,
never
dude.
fails.
The John
Uh,
Travolta meme.
No, if I live alone, if you knock on my door, ring my doorbell, like I just Pink Panther my way to the door, and I can't look. I have a peephole, but I'm too short to look out the peephole, so it's useless. And I have a window next to the door,
You need a
but it's
little
like
ladder.
on the wrong side.
You need like a little step
Yeah, you should get a little
just
ladder
for
for the people.
peeking out the people. Dalton
just-
is too small.
I open the door and I look out and I make
Should
sure
bolt like
Bossio's
wooden
behind
planks
me.
to it like a treehouse.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make you one. I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna be like Dalton is too small. Step.
Oh, and I'll send you a video of me being like, "How cute!" and lighting it on fire.
Exactly.
The peep step.
The peep step.
And then Bossio's gonna pee on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Should pee on the ash.
She'll pee on it first, and then I'll light it on fire, and the ammonia from the cat pee will just science.
So I'll use a really cheap wood.
Just make sure that it's like what is it? Which paint is the really flammable paint?
All of them.
No,
Spray paint mostly.
no, no. Oil paints just
What?
melt, and watercolors would just they're just watercolors.
They
I think
just
acrylic.
steam away.
You don't like paint an object with watercolor. Like
That's fair. You don't.
You
Acrylic
could.
though, that would probably.
You
just melt.
could do a base white chalk coat, and then use watercolor to like do the design, and then white lacquer paint it on top, or clear lacquer paint it on top, and it would hold the watercolor. It'd be like a watercolor tattoo.
You could soak it in paint thinner before lighting it up because that'll light up.
That'll really.
And I'll get rid of the
Yeah,
paint.
but that's really bad for the environment.
Right, but
So
burning the tiny bench in Arizona is not.
No, because it's wood.
Right.
well, she's not doing it out in like the forest or nothing.
Anywhere flammable. Sticks.
That's still not bad
What?
for the what?
What are we
I think
talking about?
she's
Murder?
it.
Because of the Arizona burn.
Yeah,
ban,
we're
like,
talking
all the
about a
time.
family getting murdered here.
Yeah, how did we get on arson? Let's get back to the murder at hand.
So why did these people like? I'm sure we're getting to that.
So at 10
Who are
a.m.
these people?
the cops were called, and they all went over there and started the investigation. Turns out Herbert was such good bros with everybody in the town. He was also super duper good bros with the top investigator, like top detective guy in his town. So this guy basically took it as a personal agenda of his to like track down the killer, because he was like, you killed my homie, I'm coming after you now. So now they have like this detective hot on the random two dudes trails. They go into the house with all of their 1959 detective gear and determine that they have no idea who did it.
They walk in, there's a puddle of blood.
Nice.
Gross.
Raised my hopes and dashed them quite well.
Well, they didn't really have like they could see fingerprints.
Yeah, did anyone?
They didn't have like a
No.
database to
Did anyone
confirm
see him
it
show
too.
up? Nah. Did anyone see him leave? Nah. God damn it.
I hate it when this happens.
So supposedly they took a bunch of photos at the crime scene, and I like didn't get like I went through a couple different pages and news stories and stuff like that, and I kept getting this one piece of information that I couldn't get like more detail on. But they used a UV light and took photos at the same time to like get an idea of where all the blood went.
It seems
But-
like they came on this part of the house.
But they found a random boot print on the ground, only in UV light. They couldn't see it without the UV light. One thing I don't understand is like, what were they looking at the UV light? Because there was still blood everywhere. It's not like they cleaned up after themselves. They just left it there.
There was a boot print just in cum.
Apparently, like
just
they never
The
said
cum
like,
shoe.
they never
It
said
was
what the
the
boot
cum
print was
shoe.
from. Like what left the mark. It's just they were like, oh, there's a boot print there, but you can't see it with the human eye. You gotta use the UV light. But it wasn't blood, and it wasn't like cleaning materials. So what was it? What was it? That was another question for them, is they didn't know whose boot it was because it was such a common boot that they were like, this could belong to anyone in town.
It was that diver from the SpongeBob movie. With the bigger boot.
The one boot.
Yeah, the bigger boot.
So, as they're investigating, they've got like an 18-guy crew, like just going up and down through this entire house, trying to talk to everybody in the town, figure out who might have done this. And they're coming up short all the time. And then the funeral comes up for the family. And obviously the two elder siblings that hadn't been at the house were doing the funeral. And for some unfucking known reason, they decided to have an open casket funeral for their family members that were all shot in the head and had their throat slit for some reason. Like they were like, yeah, no, we'll just do an open casket.
That's fine. It's fine.
So the coroners decided, since they wanted an
Yeah,
open
poor.
casket, that they would just cover the wounds with like cotton.
Yeah.
So they look like mummies? They're just like
Imagine being that poor
No.
funeral home worker
No,
who has to
no.
like apply makeup to their face. And there's like a fucking hole in their forehead, and you just
Cotton
stressed.
ball.
Man in there.
I mean, I feel like that's a good thing for people to lock their doors, though. Be like, yeah, this is what's
Oh
going
yeah,
happen.
the town from that point on, they all locked their doors.
yeah, I bet.
It's a
To this
very
day-
I would
convenient
build a
PSA.
second door outside of my door and lock that.
Oh, like a screen
You know
door?
what? I'm gonna dig in boat. I'm gonna go old.
Yeah, but like iron, like not.
Oh, like a
not
security
plastic.
screen door.
Yes.
So
Lock your doors, people.
It's a PSA to lock your doors at
lock
night.
your doors.
Even if
Mhm.
you live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, lock your doors.
Yep. Your
I
door
feel
has a
like-
lock for a reason.
If you live in buttfuck nowhere, you should be locking your door the most. The most. There are random like hookmen walking around ready to get you.
Is this part of the PSA?
Yeah.
Once the
Right.
bears learn how to open doors, you're fucked. You gotta lock them.
Did you hear
Lock
about the
your doors,
cocaine bear?
I did hear about the cocaine bear. They're making a movie about the cocaine bear with I think Elizabeth Banks is supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
She's tied to it somehow.
She is the cocaine bear.
Did you guys hear about the cocaine bear?
I've read the story, but I didn't know there was going to be a movie about it. That's news to me.
It's very recent, but I read about it yesterday.
The cocaine bear is why you gotta lock your doors. I mean, not much is gonna stop a bear that's on $15,000 worth of cocaine.
I'm about to say, I don't know if the locked door is a real factor here for the cocaine bear.
Depends what
You've
Well,
got
yeah.
5 minutes to live.
It was only like a 190-pound bear. It wasn't like a massive bear.
I mean, an 190-pound man I wouldn't want to mess with on cocaine. Add a bear to that.
It's not
I
going to
don't
go
wanna
through
mess
your
with that.
door, but I'm saying like I don't think you have to worry about like some Puff the Magic Dragon type doom monster coming at you. I think it's just like a really coked up bear.
Well, the bear only lived for like 5 minutes at its peak highness. So, I mean, it could try.
Its
to go
heart
through
just
the door.
burst out of its chest.
It popped.
It's like
Oh,
those
geez.
Berserker Vikings, but like the dream that they had that they would be.
I was
Basically.
imagining Ricardio from Adventure Time popping out of its chest.
Oh God.
All right. So, without a whole lot to go on, the cops were kind of lost on how to figure out what was going on. So, they were still looking, but they didn't know what they were looking for, who they were looking for. So, about a week before Christmas time, the main detective of the town that had been looking for the people who attacked the family got a call from the prison nearby and was basically told that there's a man that wants to talk to you. He knows who killed the family and he's willing to make a deal. So the detective's like, well, shit, I don't have any other leads, so I might as well just listen to this guy. This random guy who's been in prison who supposedly knows who did this thing. So
Totally.
yeah, that's a normal thing to have happen. So Floyd Wells, he's a prisoner who had been in jail for the last 2 years. I guess he had been a farmhand for her at the time for the Clutter family. And he basically saw her and was like, that's a rich guy because he pays for everything. He paid his farmhands well. He paid his farmhand guys in cash. So the guy Floyd basically thought that Herb randomly had a lot of money.
Lots of cash.
And this Floyd guy used to be cellmates with this one guy named Perry. Now,
The platypus.
basically, Floyd told Perry this story that Herb has a safe with over $100,000 in it. And it's just sitting in his house, and he's just a lowly farmer. And so Perry was like, you know what? I think you got something there. So then Perry, who was getting out of prison soon, called his old cellmate, whose name was Richard Hickscox. He wrote a letter to him and was like, hey, I've got this idea. This guy's got $100,000 sitting in his house. You in? And the dude was like, hell yeah, I've been to prison. Why not? So,
The natural progression.
That place ain't so bad. Let's go.
So then this dumbass, Perry, this dumbass, tells Floyd, yeah, my buddy and I, we're going to go hit up your friend. We're going to take his money. And Floyd's like, oh yeah, sure you are. Well, and then he sees in the newspaper that the family was killed, and he's like, ah, shit. They killed the guy. So
They killed him.
Floyd calls the detective, and he's like, hey, I'll tell you who did it if you let me out of prison and you let me keep the reward money for turning in who killed the family. And the detective's like,
Fair.
sure. Dude
As
gets
if
out.
it's not Floyd's fault to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't start all this shit.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but he didn't carry out the murder though. Like
I don't think Floyd told
He
the
didn't.
detective that part where he was like, oh yeah, I'm the one that told him about it.
No. Definitely not.
there's a reason that like they always have to get mobsters for tax evasion and they can never get them for like real crime.
So now the detective has names to go after. And somehow, like, also the Perry guy, like, told Floyd, like, yeah, my old cellmate Richard Hickscock, like, or Hickcock, like, we're gonna go do this, like, all the names. I don't remember anybody's fucking name after I don't talk to them for a year. Like, why first and last name was given. So the cops are now looking out for these two guys, trying to figure out where they are, because it's 1959. There's no cameras. They're not, like, gonna find anybody by just like Googling their last location. They just got out of prison, so they don't own anything. There's no cars attached to them.
GPSs in 1959, unfortunately.
Well, except for that one guy.
That's like when they have those kind of manhunts in the movies where there's like cops leading dogs on a leash and there's someone running through the woods all frantically. You know, and then he trips and then there's like a dog really close and then it cuts forward and somehow he's like 800 miles away from all these guys now. You know those kind of scenes?
Yeah.
The dogs are still hot on their trail.
Yeah, the dog is on their ass the whole time.
All you gotta do is run through water and the dogs just can't follow. That's what the movies say. Once you run through water, you just disappear.
So, like, I understand that without technology, it was really hard for people to do things back in the day, but I just don't understand how stupid easy it was to be a criminal back in the day and just, like, be good at it, you know?
A lot of them were public with their crime back then.
Yeah,
you know?
they were just like, haha, I'm doing this thing, and, like, having a good time with it. So, these two basically had already skipped town. They weren't in Holbrook anymore, or Holcomb anymore. And they had been leaving a trail of bad written checks from Kansas to Nevada in their real names.
These people were just like, that's like the 50s equivalent of just having used a credit card the whole way.
Yeah. Like they were using their real names to leave checks everywhere. And the checks were bouncing like after. Because checks were so stupid, they got whatever they wanted with whatever they paid with the check for. So it's like, they literally just robbed every single person that they went to all the time.
But yeah, even if they didn't commit these murders on one end of this journey, they still committed a series of crimes along this journey that was going to get them some sort of attention anyway. Like
with a literal paper trail.
Yeah.
With their names on it. Like,
yeah.
How stupid.
So they stole a car in Iowa, and they were using bad checks to buy gas and food and whatever the hell else they wanted as they drove their way down to Nevada. And the police ended up finding a car in Nevada with Iowa plates, and they were able to call back and run the plate and everything like that and find out that the two guys had stolen the car. From stealing the car, they realized there was a big string of bad checks, and from the bad checks, they determined that these two guys were actually wanted for potential murder. So they basically got caught because they stole a car. The two men were taken separately into the police station and were questioned about the murder stuff. And basically, the Perry guy, he broke first. He was like, Richard made me do it. And Richard was like, no, we didn't do anything. And so the story didn't add up, and then, it was made obvious that they did it. So then
the cop goes into the other room like, your pal already spilled the beans.
No,
you gotta tell us what's up.
And then
Richard
going to the big house. Raised voice.
Richard Hickok basically said, no, Perry killed everyone. And then Perry was like, no. Hickok killed everyone. And they both just went back and forth over who did what. So in March 1960, almost, a whole 8 months had gone by since like everything had happened. Or at least it feels like 8 months had gone by. Realistically, I think it was much less than that, and my math is just super wrong. It is 4 months. The two men, sorry. There's a lot of like dates to come back up on here. 1960, March, the two men were found guilty, and then they were convicted. They were given the death penalty, and they basically sat on death row for 4 years. Supposedly, any time that somebody asked them like what they were in for, or just generally sat down to have a conversation with them, either in prison or in an interview or anything, they would get into gruesome, like, specific details about the actual murder. Like, to the point where one guy was like, yeah, he told me that he shot the gun, saw it turn blue, and then the head just split apart. And it's like, why would you tell someone that? That's awful. Even if you are just a genuinely awful person, like, why would you say that?
If I'm in prison and I'm like afraid of getting, getting what happens in prison, I would tell people some shit that would make it sound like I was scarier than I am. Like I would tell people that I did some fucked up shit. Maybe not. I mean, like, because there might be like they might think like, oh, this dude did some fucked up shit. Let's beat his ass. Like I'd have to figure out healthy medium in that range, but I
So-
think I can understand the mentality behind saying some fucked up shit to
Well,
someone
so
else.
it
when you're
wasn't
on
only
death
to
row.
people in prison though. Like they were telling people outside of prison this too.
Oh, okay. So they're just messed up.
Like
Alright.
they would tell guards.
Death row makes people petty.
Were
guards,
any of
the
them wearing
warden.
boots when they killed these people?
Yeah.
So we know where the boot print came from, or
Yeah.
is like,
Well,
oh,
yeah.
I
it was,
assumed the boot print was some paranormal shit. Like, like there was one boot print.
It
in
was
every cell of
actually the
prison or
diver
something
from
like that.
SpongeBob.
Like,
well, you see, it could only be seen in the UV light because it was ectoplasm.
yeah, like it was some magic. Like it didn't just no. I came on my shoe and then I stepped in it. Like I don't think it was that. you
That's
know?
part of the gruesome details they dive into.
I'm sure he
Explained it
told
all.
like a
Yep.
reporter, courtroom reporter.
So,
It turned blue.
so towards the end, April 1964, the two men were about to be hung because they were still doing that at that time. I always like imagined that they stopped hanging people in like the early 1900s, but then I find out that like the last public hanging was in like Texas in like 1979, and that always blows my mind. But these two guys were said to be hanged, and as they were like getting ready to go up onto the platform, they asked them for their last words and everything like that. And one guy, Hickok, basically was just like, Perry killed the two girls, I killed the two dudes, but I had to stop Perry from like almost raping the girl. So clearly God won't judge me as hard because I'm not the worst one. I didn't kill the women. And then like Perry, because he was right there, was just like, I didn't do it, no. And then like they both were hanged, and that was the end of those two. But one of them went on this whole thing where he was like, I'm not the worst one, so I'm not gonna go to hell.
It's
I mean, I
not
feel
like
that's
it was just only one.
literal
Sorry.
Hail Mary right there. Like the definition of a Hail Mary. Like I'm gonna throw this out there. Hopefully God's listening and see what happens.
The other guy's last words were, "You prick."
Well, it's just like, do you think it's like only one of us is going to hell? Like it's gonna be one or the other?
Right,
Like it's like
exactly.
coin flip? Oh,
Clearly.
we obviously can't both be going. They can only take one at a time. So
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
the
course.
gate
You can't
is only
overload the
one
gate.
person wide.
Well, you see, you
Darn,
can't
there,
go
and
to
the
hell
boy's
if
like,
you
"I
kill
only got
men.
room for one of you."
You don't go to hell for killing men. You only go to hell if you kill a woman.
Right.
Well, what
exactly.
about that chick from Monster
Feminism.
who Charlize Theron played in the movie? She's probably in hell.
Nope, she's a lady. She went to heaven.
But like
She only
almost
killed
like-
men.
The rules are very specific.
It's feminism.
She
You don't
probably
go to
killed
hell if you
her
kill
parents at some point, or like her mom or some shit. I bet you she killed more than just like. I bet she at least killed one chick or one woman. I apologize.
I don't know. So, yeah, he like threw out a whole bunch of stuff at the end there, and everybody was just kind of like, okay, and then they just hung him. And he was like, whatever, goodbye. So the Clutter house is still around to this day. Obviously, it was built in the late 1800s, and it had been like a family home and everything like that. And eventually, it went back to the eldest sister or the eldest daughter, and they kept the house. And eventually, they sold the house off, and it's just been through a couple of different owners. And then in the 1990s, there was a couple who owned the house, and they started charging people $5 to take a tour through the house, and you could like do the normal tour stuff for like those true
Right.
crime places. But during those tours, there were people that said that you could actually sometimes see the silhouette of a girl in Nancy's room, and sometimes you would see Bonnie walking up and down the hallway of the house. Though the owners of the houses claimed that they never actually saw anything, it was a lot of like visitor testimonials of like random people that were like, no, I saw something. So supposedly the house is haunted, but only by the females.
Well, right.
because they're not in hell.
Exactly.
They're in limbo because they were killed by a man. They can't go to heaven if they're killed by a man. I don't know.
This is a tangled web, man.
We're making
The
up all
rules
kinds
are so
of right now.
But yeah, when the two men were found in the car that they had stolen in Iowa, just to clear Joey's mind here, the boots that the men had been wearing when they killed them were in the car, as well as the gun that they used to shoot them and the knife that they used to cut Herbert's neck.
Okay.
They got rid of
These guys kept the gun through like 5 state lines,
And
Yeah,
the
everyone.
knife.
crossed several rivers, probably a couple lakes. Did not think to throw these.
They
in
were
there.
like, nah, we'll
You
keep
guys
it.
suck it. See, this is the thing with like the 50s is that every time I hear one of these stories of murder, like Dalton said a few minutes ago, is that like it blows my mind that they got away with these because all these people suck at murder. Like you can't think of a couple steps ahead. Oh, how could they trace me? Let me cut a couple of these fucking threads off. Like,
Oh,
No,
guys,
I never
guys,
killed
guys.
anybody, but if I were to, I would throw the weapon in a river.
Oh,
Okay?
guys, come on. We may be taking some stuff for granted these days. They could have been really good boots. You know how hard it is to find really
What if it was
good
an
boots?
expensive gun?
Yeah. Like, who's going to throw away a perfectly good knife? I mean, you could murder other people with that knife.
Right?
You
That's
could
zombie
sharpen a rock and murder people with that. You don't need to keep a knife.
But, like, the knife's already here. You know,
Very-
like, I
What
don't
if
want
it
to
was
go out
his
and get a
best,
rock when I have a
his like
perfectly good
his
knife? I
best
mean, come on,
steak
guys.
knife? And this was like, he's like, I go to fancy ass restaurants, I get a fillet. I don't use their shit ass knives. I got my own knife. And it's just
Exactly.
like he happened to have to use this knife to stab the dude. It was the only knife he had on him. And it's like if you already got the guy right there, you're not
What
gonna
if
be
it
able to
was
let go
engraved?
and go
What
get
if
a
it was a
knife. You gotta
gift?
just
What if it was a gift?
What if it was a gift, like that fancy knife you have?
Yeah. I would never use that knife for murder because it's a terrible knife for murder.
What if it was the only knife you had on hand?
It wouldn't work because it's a terrible knife for murder. It's duller than that
Were
rock.
the boots a gift too?
I
What if
mean,
the boots were a gift?
If you're
Hit it
gonna
with the
stab someone, you should stab someone with a dull knife. That's how stabbing works. You don't want to use a sharp knife; it won't be as effective.
Yeah,
Either way, it has no point.
we'll carve your heart out with a spoon.
When you're stabbing someone, you're usually trying to stun them. You're not trying to purposely kill them. If you're trying to kill them, you're not stabbing them in like the stomach or the arm or the leg. You're like
Stab
you're
in the
going to
heart.
kill them.
So
You
they-
wouldn't stab someone in the heart if you were trying to kill them, unless you were dumb or like trying to get some dumb love revenge thing. That just you have to get past the ribs and cartilage, and just it's not going to work very well. If
Well,
you're
these
trying to
guys were
kill
obviously
someone,
very
use a
dumb.
sharp knife. Go straight for the jugular or like between the thighs. Plain and simple. But if you're just trying to like get someone off you, get someone away from you, trying to mug them, dull knife in the stomach, quick and go, gone, done.
Yes, Joey, it seems like you have something to say. Go on.
Why do we know these things? Why have
What
we
do you
considered
mean?
these things?
What do you mean?
Remember, my
I
friends
know this
didn't
is
walk into my
hypocritical of me to
house
say.
randomly.
Considering a few like seconds ago I was saying similar shit, but that was just on such a higher. But when you stab someone, if you're thinking through the stabbing and you're like, I don't want to commit a murder, so I'm gonna angle this knife 36 degrees clockwise.
Well, remember, kids, one's assault, the other is murder.
Well,
if you
no, I'm
wanted
just
to stab someone in the head, you'd want to stab them higher up in the top of their head because the skull is actually thinner than if you were to get them in the back of the head. But if you get them in the back of the head, you're more likely to actually paralyze them and cause them more damage. So depending on what you're trying to do to that person,
Joey is afraid.
no, it's just I'm just
Joey
like,
will never come back to my house.
No,
no,
he's like,
it's fine because it's like I mean like I could, I'll get away. It's just like
I'll get away.
You
You
can think
think-
that.
you're like
So-
9 inches shorter than me. I can get away.
That means absolutely nothing. I'm also very hospitable, and I
Those when
offer
you
food
can
and
fly.
drinks to everyone when they come to my house. If I'm planning something, you won't know.
That's fair.
Guess who's bringing his own food and fucking drink now? Jesus Christ. What the hell? The hell kind of statements are these?
These are awfully strange flexes.
They're specific.
Yeah.
You remember whose show is this? How many? We just went over how much research I've done.
deadly nightshade in the tea that I made for them. if once he bites the apple,
She has taken up an
so
interest
razor
in
blade in it.
I mean, pecan pie will hide everything.
You're gonna set up like a Rube Goldberg machine to kill somebody. It's not gonna be like we're gonna think it's gonna be like a poison food, but really like when we pick up the glass, it's gonna pull a lever that's gonna start some Tom and Jerry contraption around your whole house. That's gonna end with Bossio attacking us.
nobody
so
ever
that
noticed?
So that it like Bossio is 100% the culprit and you're clean.
I wouldn't even
It's
have
gonna
to
be like-
train her. She would just know.
Yeah. It's
She
gonna
would
be
just
just
do it.
like it's gonna lead to a series of laser pointers that just shine all around my neck, and then
And she just
yeah.
as she runs by.
I wouldn't even doubt it. She's literally like freaking out right now, parkouring off the walls.
Training.
Questions, comments, concerns.
Now these Cutter family people. Well, okay. So it really just sounds like they were just like a ultra victim of circumstances. This random dude just kind of made up this story about him having a bunch of, maybe not made up, but was just completely mistaken about him having a bunch of money in there, and it just led to like a quadruple homicide.
Yeah, I mean, like, they definitely could have had that much money in the bank, but they didn't have a safe in their house.
And these people didn't even think to steal, like, there's value in a home, like in your house. You know,
just sell the house.
If I'm gonna be in there and I'm committing enough crime to where I'm leaving this end of the country, I'm taking something. You know, like
they took the radio.
Yeah, but a radio. There's one built into the car they stole later on. I'm sure. Like,
by 59.
They had radios built into cars. By 59.
Yeah, but they stole a car from Iowa.
Where in Iowa?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just looked it up, and $100,000 is like $900,000.
Yeah, that's a lot
like
of
that's
money.
Yeah, so there were 300 people in their town. Like, where'd this guy get almost $1 million or equivalent to $1 million?
Well, so it was a family farm. So he's had it since whenever they initially built the farm, and then like lived in that town for their whole lives. So if they were saving since like the 1800s to this point, there's not a whole lot of stuff for them to spend their money on. And the house in itself isn't like a big fancy house. It's just like a 5-bedroom farmhouse, and then they have the farm, and then they live in a small town. So I feel like they probably just stashed all their money away.
Yeah,
that's what I would think. I don't know. Maybe they sold coke on the side.
Pretty sure coke was legal then. No, it wasn't legal in 59.
Maybe they grew weed.
No, because back then everyone thought weed made white women sleep with black men. That was what the old like propaganda.
Maybe that's why the wife slept in a different room.
Oh shit! The wife was a stoner.
The wife, no, or the husband wasn't as much of a cook as the wife had hoped.
Well, if they're sleeping in different rooms, it sounds like he was.
No, because then it's harder for him to watch if they're not just in the same room.
Yeah, but he's still like, it sounds way.
Ooh, what if they had a peephole though? More excitement. Shared
we're
a wall.
Getting into. I don't think people in the 50s were like this open about their sexual deviancy.
I don't know.
I mean, that's not
being gay back then was really difficult.
Like if you
they
had
would
some
literally
50s
just fuck in the
dildo
woods,
and it was just like a diesel engine with like you just sat on like a piston or some shit. Like
you do what now?
I'm just thinking of some
they
like
had
I'm just thinking of like old timey shit. I'm just like imagine like modern technology with so exaggeratedly 1950s, like like steampunk almost, you know,
like some shit out of Fallout.
A steam powered vibrator.
Yeah, exactly, like some nuclear family post-apocalypse thing.
The very first vibrator was a capsule filled with bees.
What?
For Cleopatra.
Nature provides.
Cleopatra probably did great shit historically, and we all know her as like the Ho Queen of Egypt. Like
that's awesome.
On purpose.
Like I'm sure she like led an army at some point, or like fucking I don't know, did some shit that would like did some Egyptian reform, and everyone is just like, dog, she got with Mark Antony. Just like
she did speak like 12 languages or something. She was super smart.
I don't think that was the highlight of her career for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What a G. She spoke 12 languages. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Weren't there were like 16 languages on Earth back then? You know, like she knew
exactly. She spoke almost all of them. Wow.
Was it her that like, if not assassinated, got rid of like her brother or some shit to get him out of the way from doing something stupid?
That wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe.
No.
Motherfucker stole a Bel Air.
Mystery.
It's one of the most important mysteries to this whole thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Not
it
even
tells us nothing. Tells us nothing about what part of Iowa they stole the car from.
Oh darn!
At least they got the car.
How many different parts of Iowa are there? Let's be honest. There is corn, and then there is not Iowa. You know, like it's
not true. There's corn and there's hogs and there's not Iowa.
But the hogs eat the corn. They conglomerate.
No, they don't. Yeah. Hogs eat everything.
They're actually their own society. They drive very loud bikes, you know, they go really fast.
Hog people. Just those fucking things from the Minecraft
That's what's in the
like,
middle,
hell world
you know?
with the swords. You know what I'm talking about?
That's what lives in the middle of Iowa. Around the outside, you see the people.
All right. Any any other comments?
I mean, I have concerns, as always.
What are your concerns?
Well, Jonathan, Vanessa, I hope this has been an important PSA. Lock your doors. You never know who's from out of town that's going to be in town. Someone like Dalton, perhaps, who knows
I don't
a
break
lot
into
about
people's
anatomy.
houses.
No, Dalton has to be invited in.
I said someone like
It's true.
Dalton.
You see this? It's true.
But
No crosses.
No.
I mean,
tacky.
I feel for like the 50s and like the earlier eras in general, because like it gets a bad rap for stuff like this, right? Like in hindsight, we have 2020, and like everyone gets like
I don't know.
attacked.
There's a lot of things from the 50s I would definitely say you can blame them for.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like with that,
I feel like this is definitely one of those things.
For me, it's 2020 vision. Like this is for me, it's a matter of like this hasn't been a thing that people were very well made aware of up until that point.
No, but everybody's known that there's always like since the beginning of time we have known there are bad people in the world. So like one small
that's
precaution.
always happening to.
That's why we made doors and locks.
But I mean, in that area, I know like the Villisca axe murders in Iowa happened in like 1912.
It's the same thing. They didn't lock their door.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're in that area, that Kansas, Iowa area, you for sure would have heard about that, and that should have been enough to be like, yeah, the store needs to be locked at night.
You would think,
right?
right?
You would think Ivy's family would know.
Community kitchen.
Hey, we lock the
guys
doors
have
at
a,
night.
I was gonna say, just stay armed if you live in a rural area.
Door's not gonna stop them that much. I feel like if they really want in, they're getting in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's probably kind of inevitable.
Yeah, but if your door is locked and they want in and they're gonna get in no matter what, you have time to like react because you know they're trying to break in versus your door just being open and them just walking in while you're sleeping and getting you in bed.
No warning, yeah.
But if you live in a neighborhood, not even like just like a suburb, like anywhere where there's anyone can actually like see your front door from their house, them actually having to like break in your front door, it gives them time for someone else to spot something going on and all that other crap. Like
True.
Like a lot of security isn't about stopping a threat, because if someone's determined enough, they're going to get through almost any kind of security. It's about creating enough delays so that something else can stop them.
I agree. And on top of that, it increases the risk and the reward, and it just diminishes for that perpetrator anyway.
That's true.
So it's all, for me, it's always just the perspective of it. Like, I feel like a lot of people in that era were just trying to live their lives, and it's one of those stories that always happens to other people until it happens to you.
Bro, imagine you're just planting corn and some motherfucker kicks in your door in the middle of the night and just starts shooting your family. You're like, dude, and he's like, where's the money, Lebowski? And you're like, dude, I grow corn. Like, what the fuck do you think I have going on with my life?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You're gonna pop in there and be like, "Show me the gold!" And you just start handing them ears of corn because it's all the gold you know.
It's like, dude, I don't know what you're doing.
This is the closest thing I got.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, that's all I got for you guys.
Okie doke.
I am satisfied.
All right then. Well, my name's Dalton.
I'm Ivy.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Joey.
I'm Jonathan and Vanessa.
Vanessa changed during the show.
Gotta take care of the dog real quick.
No.
Thanks for listening to the whole show. And if you're at this part, go ahead and make sure you follow all of our social medias. Jonathan will also be linked in our bio and on the Instagram post that I will make after I figure out what to make for this show. And bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.